your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that. This, agree with Jamie 100%. College athletics is about to turn into NASCAR if they aren't careful. I'm guessing that's the demise of NASCAR, not so much the sponsorship aspect of NASCAR, because NASCAR has. It feels
I think that's a definite possibility of both there.
Okay.
That you put 65 logos on a uniform to help pay for the name, image, and likeness contracts, and make some of the money back that the universities are losing in all of these suits that they're having to pay out.
I was just thinking about it just from the fan standpoint of how it's just the NASCAR has gotten so far away from its fan base, so to speak, that feels like it's fallen off the end of the earth.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
so maybe a little column A and column B there.
Yeah, maybe. I think the NASCAR fan base is probably still pretty loyal.
Yeah, but they've
changed things a little bit, but
it just seems like it's not as. I don't know. It just seems like it's not as prevalent.
No, I agree. I agree with that. There was definitely a stage where it feels like they were a much bigger deal. You know,
it just feels like, I think part of it is they kind of just priced their fan base out of the regular Jimmys and Joes that, went to the track, and stood there and rooted for their driver, and those guys, as more and more and more money got involved and they wanted more and more money, then all of a sudden they're like appealing to a completely different crowd, and the guy that was just there with his wife and his kids and just rooting for the 42 car or whatever, is like, I can't afford to come here anymore.
You bring up that, and I forget who said it. Was somebody on the chat line. We had this conversation a couple of years ago about NASCAR and what happened. But they also mentioned that while you were rooting for the 42 car, it wasn't the 42 car you were rooting for. It was the 42 Chevy you were rooting for. It was the Chevy. It was the Ford. It was the Dodge. You were rooting for the car maker as much as you were the car. And when they went to the car of tomorrow, a decade and a half, 15 years ago, whenever that was a massive change for the fandom because all the cars were the same at that point. And it was you took out part of the rooting interest for a lot of fans. It was one of the smartest things I've ever seen the chat line say, because it really made me sit back and think that, well, yeah, they've priced themselves out of some of their audience. They've taken the rough edges off of it, which upset some NASCAR fans. But for the actual competition on the track, that was a huge change that not a whole lot of people liked at the time.
This from the chat line, man. Every once in a while, I'm in synchronicity with the audience. Yes, I was going for the fan base angle. Their attendance and money is way down, and not as many care. That's exactly right, Chuck. They priced everyone out. And I mean, man, just look at some tickets, just like a regular season game, taking your family to a Major League Baseball game. Man, it's gotten incredibly expensive. Whereas going couple nights a week or 10 times a summer, it's like now it's like one. You can afford to go to a couple of games this summer just because of the money involved.
Yeah, I guess I can't really speak to that. Every time I seem to go, I find the cheaper tickets, and it doesn't seem outrageous to me.
Okay, all right.
I mean, if you're sitting behind home plate, yeah, but go sit in the outfield, and I mean, $20 a ticket doesn't seem outrageous to me. I mean, you can get $20 tickets in Rangers ballpark right now. Or, I mean, last time I went to Yankee Stadium, I paid $21.
Okay, all right, well.
So, I mean, don't sit right behind a home plate.
Okay.
I don't think it's that bad.
Okay. This from Dan in Dallas. Maybe Chuck Heinz Enterprises should sponsor a patch for the basketball team or player. I need a logo first. I don't know about CHE on it,
It's a hand reaching out
yes.
with a CHE on the top of it. Yes. And underneath it, rule number 1.
No, that's too much on the patch.
Well, little letters underneath
that's
for the rule number 1.
That's too much on the patch. Jordan asked this morning, fellas, was wondering, aside from financially, did Dan Hurley hurt or help his career staying in Storrs, Connecticut? He's a 2-time NCAA national champion. I don't know that this will be the last time somebody takes a run at him. Probably be the last time the Lakers take a run at him. But maybe he's just decided he's more of a college coach than an NBA coach.
Yeah, maybe, but I think I agree with you in thinking that others will take a run at him at some point. I mean, he's got the opportunity to do something historic here and win 3 in a row, and which hasn't been done for a long, long time. So that would probably elevate him to a different level of respect as a college basketball coach. But, man, I would guess that Dan Hurley, no matter what decision he made, his career is going to go down as a good one.
Yeah, he's 51, so depending on how long he wants to coach, I mean, he's a relatively young man.
Yeah,
especially in the coaching profession.
Sure.
So I would say that he's in good shape. Pepsi Man's on the run. He's in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Just want to say have a great day and go Yankees. We could have left that part out, but okay, we'll go ahead and you can say go Yankees. You and Pepsi Man, simpatico on that.
I saw the Yankees had a graphic last night that said like Monday night W in Missouri. Does it bother you that they said Missouri for your Kansas City Royals?
Well, that's where they are.
I know.
They are.
I thought maybe, are the Yankees taking a shot at Chuck here? Are they just needling him a little bit?
And like I've mentioned, up there the state line. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it kind of meanders all throughout the whole metropolitan area. So, but yeah,
I don't doubt anything you're saying right now, Chuck. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you immediately wanted to bury your head into the sand the second you admitted you were from the Missouri side and not the Kansas side.
Born there.
There is a reason that we do it.
I know. Yeah, no, I know. It's kind of one of those things you have to admit.
You wore this one, and you were the one that brought it up.
Oh, no, I know, right? No, it's
up until that point. You ask any of us, you were from Kansas.
I did it to myself, right? No, there's no.
Not always good to share.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Today is the 11th day of June, 2024. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Going to go back to 1904. Chicago Cubs pitcher Bob Wicker no-hits the New York Giants and wins in the 12th on a one-hitter, winning 1-0.
Ouch.
1927, future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth hits his 19th and 20th homers of the Major League Baseball season that he would hit 60 in overall in a Yankee 6-4 win over the Indians at Yankee Stadium. 1955, tragic accident happens at the Le Mans Raceway. 83 spectators were killed.
Oh, my goodness.
As a car ramps off into the spectator area. The race would, however, continue.
Where was this?
Le Mans.
In Le Mans.
At the 24 hours in Le Mans. That's where this accident happened.
Yeah.
One of many there that has had, unfortunately, spectator fatalities.
But 83, and they kept the race going.
Kept the race going.
Gosh.
1961, Roger Maris hits his 19th and 20th home run in his historic 61-homer season.
Wow, that's what a quinky-dink there.
That's why I brought it up.
I'm sure you did, right?
I mean, I didn't put them on the same day, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Sure.
1977, in the 109th Belmont Stakes, Seattle Slew wins with a time of 2 minutes, 29.6 seconds. 1981, Mariners beat the Orioles 8-2 at the Kingdome. Major League Baseball players then went on strike.
I was just getting ready to say, I'll bet you that was the last game before the 81 strike. And that was just an absolute killer. That was a terrible summer.
1990, Nolan Ryan pitches his sixth no-hitter, beating Oakland in the ninth, and retires Ken Phelps, Ricky Henderson, and Willie Rudolph, all ex-Yankees.
Randolph. Yeah.
I said Rudolph, didn't I? I meant Randolph. It says Randolph right there. There's an R-A-N-D. That's Rand. My apologies.
Ken Phelps, everybody thought he was going to be a big home run hitter, had a huge swing, never really panned out for anybody.
Well, he was good for Seattle, and the Yankees traded Jay Buhner, an up-and-coming player, for Phelps, trying to make a playoff run, and he did nothing for the Yankees. But Buhner had a pretty good career for the Mariners, one of those deadline deals that you wish he hadn't made with a young player.
I wonder if he's any relation to Michael
Phelps?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Because it's spelled the same way.
No, I don't believe so.
I wouldn't guess, but who knows?
2019. Now pitching in relief for the Colorado Rockies, former Red Raider Chad Bettis pitches a perfect sixth inning in a 10-3 win over the Cubs.
Nice.
It is National Corn on the Cob Day.
Big fan. Jamie, corn on the cob?
Yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
Okay. Jeff?
I would not turn one down, but I also acknowledge there's other ways to eat corn. However, Jamie's going to love the next one. It's also National German Chocolate Cake Day. That's it.
What does that have on top of it, Chuck?
Coconuts. I don't care for that German chocolate cake.
I think this is my favorite. I think this is my family's favorite Chuck Heinz quote. Has coconuts on top. Yeah. Not coconut. Coconuts. Like the very large basketball-sized big coconuts.
Coconuts. They have coconuts. It's got coconuts on top of it. Yeah. You should have. I should buy a German chocolate cake for the.
Should have got Jeff one for his birthday.
Lent's family dessert tonight.
Yeah, man.
Happy birthday to Shalabo, who's 38, Joe Montana, 68, Joshua Jackson, 46, and Jose Reyes is 41. And on this day, 1979, John Wayne, an iconic American film actor famous for starring in countless westerns, dies at the age of 72 after battling cancer for more than a decade. The actor was born, what? What was his real name?
I used to know this.
Marion Morrison.
There you go.
On May 26, 1907, in Iowa, and moved as a child to Glendale, California. A football star at Glendale High School, he attended the University of Southern California on a scholarship, but dropped out after 2 years.
He got injured.
After finding work as a movie studio laborer, Wayne befriended director John Ford, then a rising talent. His first acting jobs were bit parts in which he would be credited as Duke Morrison, a childhood nickname derived from the name of his beloved pet dog. During 4 decades of acting, Wayne, with his trademark drawl and good looks, appeared in over 250 films. He was married 3 times and had 7 children. And that is this day in sports history.
All right, time for your lucky local winning word this morning. It's brought to you by Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone. This is a local contest. We're giving away Cashaline. A week from Thursday, we'll be out at 2 Docks. Somebody's going to walk away with $2,500. Somebody today is going to walk away with $500. As you have to go to doublet97.3.com, enter this word, and you could be a winner. Buccaneers. Buccaneers, as in Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 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 Buccaneers.
Or how much you should charge for corn on the cob.
At a Tampa Bay football game. About a Buccaneer.
About a Buccaneer. All right. Buccaneers is your lucky local winning word from Double T 97.3 in the Home Zone, making your house a home. And go to, again, doublet97.3.com to get entered in. Tomorrow is the final day. Let's see. The 81 strike coincided with my wedding. Planned on going to a Ranger game as part of our honeymoon, but the strike squashed that. Didn't seem to bother my bride, though. No, I wouldn't guess not.
So the question is, are you still married? If you're still married, then it was some sort of a good omen. Mm-hmm. If if you're not still married, then maybe it was a sign of things to come.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. Kudos to Jeff and his ability to have the right sounder at his fingertips for any of Chuck's moments. That from Centex Hank.
Chuck's moments.
I
have very few talents. It's nice when someone recognizes one of them.
Yeah. With regard to Dan Hurley, how's the Knicks coaching situation? I think he'd be interested if that one opens up close to home. Yeah. That makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes some sense.
That feels like that'd be a good spot for him in the NBA.
Yeah. If they wanted to break the bank, so to speak. 6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline, and it's open as well. Okay. We'll have Rangers and the Dodgers tonight. That'll be at 8:30 here on WT973. Rangers were idle yesterday as they winged their way to Los Angeles. The Giants and the Astros continue their series tonight on 100.7 The Score. That's a 8:15 broadcast, 8:45 first pitch. The Astros fell 4-3 to the G-Men last night in 10 innings. They don't really call them the G-Men in baseball. More G-Men's more for football.
I think it's all for football.
Yeah. More like all for football, not just kind of like somewhat for football. Just it is pretty much for football. Hey, how about the news for TJ Pompey? That was nice. He was named a freshman All-American by the NCBWA. That was yesterday. 10 home runs, 49 runs batted in. It was good offensive production for him.
Yeah, great freshman season at the plate. Obviously, he had a stretch there where he struggled, but offensively, really good. I think you're excited about his future and a guy that you can build on and all that kind of stuff. At the same time, you hope he, get some of those issues figured out on defense last year, because that's probably, for most Tech fans, that's probably what stands out more than anything. But he's a really talented young guy and was just a freshman, and so hopefully he continues to get better.
Wherever you go this summer, take your glove with you. Big John.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Thank you for being with us today. So kind of going through a list of quarterback power rankings. We've gotten to the first six. Seventh is a former Tech quarterback, Donovan Smith. He may not win a whole lot of games, but he may be a guy that is a factor when it comes to the NFL draft next year.
I mean, Joyce was telling us yesterday that he saw a mock draft with him in the first round.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's 6'5", he's 240. He's got all the measurables. Last year, he ran for 428 yards, 6 touchdowns, threw 2,800 yards passing, 22 touchdowns. What he says though in this article is probably what you're going to go, yeah, that's probably fair. It's a fair assessment of him, that if he wants to be a high draft pick and see his draft stock rise, he's got to do a better job of taking care of the football.
Yeah, more accurate and do a better job of reading defenses.
He had 13 interceptions last year and 4 games with multiple interceptions. So, but he's got to, like you said, he's got to take better care of the football. So the Iowa State quarterback is number 8. The TCU quarterback, Josh Hoover, is number 9. Declares him as still a massive unknown. 3-star Texas high school prospect over at TCU. Had 2 4-touchdown games and threw for over 400 yards twice. And then we get to number 10, and that's where they have Baron Morton listed. So here's what he says about Baron Morton. This is Mason Duhan of this article here that's written. The former 4-star prospect was once the highest graded quarterback to ever sign with Texas Tech ahead of the 2021 season, but things haven't shaken out as hoped. He didn't solidify himself as the Red Raiders starter until Game 3 of the 2023 season against West Virginia. Well, and that's because the starter got hurt.
No, he didn't solidify himself because the job was somebody else's from the get-go.
Right. I'm just reading what he said here, but you're right.
I mean, automatically, immediately, we see this guy that he doesn't know. He's not done his research. He has no clue.
Yeah, because he took over for an injured quarterback. Let's see here. Here's what he says. He never eclipsed 300 yards or 3 touchdowns in a game. A lot of that was because of the offense and the rushing by Taj Brooks. If he doesn't hit the ground running, this guy says, and I don't think this is it at all, it may be time to turn to incoming West Georgia transfer Cameron Brown. Look, he's only there if Baron Morton gets hurt, or 4-star freshman Will Hammond. And they're not going to put Will Hammond in unless things just go incredibly bad, like both the first 2 guys get hurt.
No mention of his injury.
There's no mention of his injury in here. No, sir.
I mean, we might have listened to Charlie Brown's teacher talk.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't disagree with the thought that Baron Morton has a lot to prove. Okay. I thought better about Baron Morton 2 years ago than I thought about Baron Morton last year. Okay. But anybody with half of amount of knowledge realizes that he was affected by his injuries last year.
Which happened in the West Virginia game.
Which was so the whole year we saw him, he was not 100%, or I don't know how close he was to it. Didn't look like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like he looked like he had just way more to him 2 years ago than he did last year. Okay. I assume because of the injury. So, but Baron Morton has a lot to prove. I'm not bent out of shape with him being 10th. You said something about the TCU quarterback being a huge unknown. I feel like that's fair to say about Baron Morton at this point, because last year it was pretty mediocre at best, right? I mean, I don't remember any games where I just felt, and there probably was one where
maybe the bowl game,
or I just felt like, man, Baron carried us today. No, it was your running game. I think there are a lot that went into it. I don't think he had great receivers to work with last year. I didn't always think the offensive game plan was great last year, but and maybe the game plan was slimmed down because he was so injured.
I mean, he didn't practice at all during the weeks.
Yeah,
we've learned that. I mean, he basically, all he could do was mental preparation so that he could, be able to throw in the game. So they didn't have him working with the team at all. I mean, the other thing last year was the defense bailed you out a number of times just in getting stops, at critical points, or forcing field goals instead of allowing touchdowns. Yeah,
but I just think that he has a lot to prove at this point. He has a lot to prove. The article is missing something massive if they're not talking about his injury.
Yeah, and it doesn't mention his injury, and you're exactly right. You're exactly right. So.
Yeah. To act like there was he couldn't claim the job until 3 weeks in. He was. Everybody knew Tyler Shuck was the starter.
He was the starting quarterback. Yeah.
The day he announced he was coming back, everybody knew Tyler Shuck was the starter. And if we all talked about how the two were treated so differently, when you heard the head coach and the offensive coordinator speak about the two so differently. And remember that, it's a battle, it's a battle, it's a battle, it's a battle. And then the offensive coordinator, Zach Kitley, says, oh, no, this was never close. It's always been his job.
Right.
Okay. He had no chance to win that job. It was Tyler Shuck's from the get-go. Yeah. It was he couldn't claim it until the 3rd week.
Yeah, and if
Tyler Shuck didn't get hurt, he probably wouldn't have ever claimed it.
Not last year.
Because they were tied to Tyler Shuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they certainly were. So, anyway, that's what this guy's. That's where he. Do you disagree where he's ranked?
No, I don't have. I mean, maybe I'm not in love with Iowa State's quarterback and don't know much about the TCU quarterback, so he just needs to be in the mix there somewhere, 8, 9, 10, whatever. But I'm not bent out of shape about it.
Yeah, behind him, they have the Baylor quarterback, the UCF quarterback, and then Alan Bowman is ranked in at number 13.
That seems low for him. With his amount of experience, I'm not saying he's spectacular, but that seems low.
The knock on him is similar to Donovan Smith. Last year, he went 304 of 501, 3,460 yards, had 15 touchdowns, but 14 interceptions.
Yeah,
you got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. And he too, like the Utah guy, is entering year 7 of his college football career. He's only thrown for 15 or more touchdowns twice. Last year, and do you know what the first year was for him?
Probably his very freshman year.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So, and then the guy from Cincinnati is 14th, and 15th is Arizona State. And then the 16th guy is the BYU guy. So that's your quarterback rankings from one person. So if you have a thought on that, you can hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, we're talking Red Raider football here, and my question for you today is, I want in order for you to give me the 3 toughest games for the Red Raiders this season. The 3 most likely they're going to lose.
3 most likely that they're going to lose. Okay. I thought you were going to kind of go regurgitate one from yesterday. There were a couple things yesterday that you went through on 100.7 The Score during your stint there. But the 3 games that we're likely to lose. Okay. At Oklahoma State. At Iowa State. I'd love to tell you we're going to go undefeated at home. I think you will. So Oklahoma State, Iowa State. Man, you'd have a 3-game losing streak if I picked Colorado. Gosh. At Arizona. Those are my 3. At Arizona on October the 5th. At Iowa State, November the 2nd. At Oklahoma State, November 23rd.
We got one similar answer, I think, Chuck.
Okay.
Oklahoma State in Stillwater. I think that's the toughest game on your schedule this year. I'm going to say Arizona is 2.
Well, I said Arizona.
And number 3, and this is just for the worry factor for the time of the year. I think you're a better team than they are, but I'm nervous about this game, and that's Washington State.
I don't disagree with you. That was kind of where I was too. I was thinking about that. Jamie?
Okay, I'm going to go at Oklahoma State, number 1, at Arizona, number 2, at Iowa State, number 3.
So we're in agreement.
Not in our order. I think the question was in order.
In order? I'm not sure I answered the question fully then. Shocker.
And if you out there are shocked that Chuck didn't listen and follow directions completely,
well, I said Oklahoma State. I went Oklahoma State, Iowa State, and Arizona. I'll stick with that.
I'm just not worried about going to Ames anymore. Why? And I don't know why. I'm not buying into the Iowa State hype anymore. After years and years of them, being the dark horse of winning the Big 12 and absolutely falling flat. It is November, but it's early November. In fact, it's almost as early in November as you can get, being the 2nd as opposed to the 1st. I'm just
Still gonna be cold there.
sure it's still going to be cold, but it gets cold here too.
It's not going to be as cold as November the 23rd or November the 30th. I mean, it'd be a crisp fall day.
I love how we think we know exactly what the weather is going to be on either one of those days.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be cold in Ames in November.
Like because there starts a trend, right, on October 1 where it starts getting a little colder. So December 31st, clearly 100% every year coldest day of the year, right? So we know that on November 23rd it's going to be colder than November 1st in Ames, Iowa.
No.
But you two are acting like you do.
Well, I just feel like
the odds are that it'll be a little bit colder. Sure.
Yeah. And that's what we're playing here. is the
Okay.
odds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm
How in the world was it colder yesterday than it was last week then? Shouldn't it be hotter still?
Yeah.
No one's complaining. No one is complaining.
It's Iowa in November.
It's going to be cold, sure. But I'm just not worried about Iowa State anymore. And
you are so always worried about Kansas State because of
that would
their
be the
history
loss.
against us?
If that was on the schedule, that would be the number one.
Right, okay. But have we had any recent success at Iowa State?
Yes.
That 14-10 thing?
I didn't say it was good success, but success is still success.
13-10? What was it? I can't remember.
Well, here you go. Here you go. The historical high average on November the 2nd in Ames, Iowa, in Ames, Iowa, is 55 degrees. The low is 36. The historical high on the 23rd of November is 45, and the low is 27. And for the 30th, the historical high is 42, and the low is 24.
14-10, yes, 2 years ago, Jamie.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be warmer on November the 2nd than...
I would tell you that's probably a fair guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just can't believe Chuck didn't say North Texas was the top 3 toughest game.
I was a little shocked that didn't come out of Chuck's mouth.
Well, I don't think you're going to lose, but I think that game's going to be closer than everybody thinks. I also was putting some things on my calendar yesterday, and I came across this nugget of something that I said that I wrote down that probably is not going to come true. That I wrote down for the weekend of the Big 12 championship game that BYU would be better than everybody thinks they will be. I'm not so sure that's going to hold up.
Yeah, they didn't have a great season. Doesn't look like they're destined for killing it next year either.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say this. Anything more than a point on September 14th, I think is great. I just think it's going to be 10 or less at the end of the day for the game against North Texas. I think Tech will win by 10 or less.
What part of North Texas, really scares you? I mean, what is it their running ability, they really get after the quarterback?
No, I think
it's the North and the Texas part.
And then it's Eric and it's Morris and him coming in and firing his team up.
Goodness.
That pregame speech. He'll finally get to call plays here at Jones Stadium.
Yeah, but he's not going to recognize
you and I disagree
the
on that one because I think he was for a year here.
I think he was. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to recognize the place. We've done massive upgrades since he was here.
Oh, you've changed the lamps.
He won't be able to breathe. The south end zone is so
sucking all the air out.
Yeah, I mean it's just he's so intimidated by it.
Right. Yeah. He's a small kid, small guy.
Small kid.
7:40 this morning on the morning drive.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Thank you for being with us today on Lubbock Sports Station. You ever see a ZZ Top in concert?
No, I have not.
Would you see them in concert? Would you see them in concert?
I like their music just fine, but that'd probably not the place for me at a ZZ Top concert. I don't really feel like it would be a good fit.
Yeah, good fit. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a concert guy in general?
I've only taken the wife to see Bon Jovi 4 times. Those are the concerts.
Oh, and you went and saw Whitesnake down in Midland.
Yeah, that's right. We went to Whitesnake in Midland. Yeah,
so those are the 5. Yeah. Bon Jovi 4 times. Yeah. Whitesnake once.
Uh-huh.
Are there shows that she would like to go see? No?
I don't
Concerts.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe Bon Jovi again, probably.
Okay, so if Bon Jovi comes to Lubbock, we should not.
Well, the last time they came, I was away for baseball, so.
Oh, that was disappointing. Jeff?
ZZ Top is in concert who you absolutely would want them to be in concert.
I agree. I've seen them a number of times.
They are they were, I should say.
Yeah.
Exactly who you would want them to be. They are fantastic. They do all the.
I'm right there with you.
You know what you're getting when you walk in, and you love every single second of it.
Yep. I saw them at the Coliseum. Saw them at the arena. I may have seen them at the arena twice. I saw them at least once at the arena and once at the Coliseum. All right, Double T 97.3 and 100.7 The Score this summer. We asked this question: who wore it better? Lots of famous numbers at Texas Tech. There are some numbers that are better than others. We've put together some of the numbers that have the toughest battles and letting you decide. We'll give our opinion. So every Tuesday, which is today, and Friday, we're going to put out a poll on the X during the morning drive for the number with the contestants. And then on Mondays and Thursdays, we'll reveal the winners on Tech Talk. So how it's going to end up is on you. Who wore it better? Who wore it better for Wes Welker's number? Was it Wes?
It was Wes.
Okay. All right.
We've had E.J. Hollab win and Wes Welker win so far.
Okay, so a couple of football guys. So now I think if I were to pick a number, okay, I think this would be the hardest number for Jamie because it's 2 of his faves that wore this number in different sports, right?
Favorites, yes.
Faves, 2 of your faves. Maybe three. This is the number 16, worn by among. We're not counting Vinny Testaverde's kid. Cody Davis, Josh Young, and Cliff Kingsbury. So Jamie, who wore it the best? Would you like to go first?
Sure, I don't care. First off, I'll just say 3 great players and really good men too.
Okay.
That was a number with some quality dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Quality dudes. I don't think this is even close. It's Josh Young.
Oh wow!
It's Josh Young, and by a landslide.
Okay, do you have some numbers to back that up? Do you think?
I mean, all American as a player here, led you to Omaha a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Big 12 Player of the Year,
Conference Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing amazing things at the next level.
First round draft pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the above. I love Cliff Kingsbury. As a player, he was one of my first favorite Red Raider football players and all that good stuff. And hey, it didn't work out for him as a coach and all that good stuff. But the coaching part doesn't even factor in. You're just factoring about him wearing the jersey number 16. He sure did make Tech football a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun. And
the thing is, Josh never conducted the band.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's some numbers on Cliff. First team All Big 12, 2002. Second team All Big 12, 2000, 2001. Won the Sammy Baugh Trophy in 2002. Associated Press National Player of the Year, 2002. Played 43 games as the Texas Tech quarterback. He was, let me get this, only the 3rd player in college football history to throw for over 10,000 yards, gain over 10,000 yards in total offense, and complete over 1,000 passes in a career. He also became just the 4th player in college football to throw for over 3,000 yards, 3 times during his career, was also an academic All-Big 12 conference choice following his sophomore campaign in 2000. Jeff, who's your pick on this?
I would go with Josh as well, because of the team success and getting to. I mean, in theory, at that point, for the comparison for Cliff, it would have had to go to a New Year's Six Bowl or to the Fiesta Bowl or a Big 12 championship game. Josh got those with the Red Raider baseball team. And this is probably going to be the closest one with regards to tugging at heartstrings, because what Cliff did under Mike Leach at Tech was phenomenal. And him coming in with Spike at the end in the Oklahoma game is highlight material and stories galore that go with it. But when you talk about success on the field, the team success that Josh was the main reason for would make me vote for Josh in this one.
Man.
You're going Cliff.
No, you guys have made compelling arguments.
I do feel sorry for Cody Davis, though.
Yeah, who was a great player for us and is still playing in the league. Yeah.
I think he's done. I think he's done.
Okay.
I think this past year was his. I think he's
okay. Last year he was still playing in the league.
Right. Man.
You can say Cliff. It's fine.
Oh no, I think it's I think you guys said it. I think it's really close. I'm gonna take Cliff at number 16. 16 is my favorite number. My guy wore 16. So, but yeah, I'm gonna take Cliff. So if you have an opinion on that, hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
I don't think this vote will be as close as you guys think.
You think it's gonna be Josh overwhelming?
Yeah, and part of the reason I think that is because it feels like so many Red Raider football fans have put to the back what Cliff did as a player because they were so frustrated with Cliff and the program as a head coach.
Yeah.
That people forgot about and just kind of dismissed how great of a quarterback he was for us.
Yeah.
As of right now, 56 to 43%.
Josh?
Yeah. But it's 56-43.
But then there's the other side of it that you have way more Red Raider football fans than you have Red Raider baseball fans. So that probably helps out Cliff a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're also going to get the guys voting for Josh that are Texas Rangers fans, because Josh he carried that forward, and he's more top of mind right now than Cliff is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Prisoner of the moment definitely factors in for Jeff.
Yeah. Don't have to say this. Obviously, 8th overall pick in the first round by the Rangers.
You're right.
No, I was just gonna. You don't say that. I was just gonna give you some numbers on Josh, comparable to
well,
Cliff.
it's kind of hard, because it's kind of apples to oranges.
It is.
Right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Or whatever Jared Sandler calls it.
Oh, it's Matt Hicks.
Oh, apples.
Correlate.
Apples to whatever.
Yeah, oranges. You know the thing that kind of
wasn't it that Jared that said it wrong?
It was Matt Hicks that says it wrong.
Oh, okay.
You know, I saw this the other day. Yesterday was 5 years, I believe, to the day that Josh took and Coach Tadlock and the team went to Omaha and clinched a spot to go to Omaha. So you think about that only 5 years ago, and already he's a World Series champion. Patrick Mahomes, 10 years ago this summer, came to Texas Tech as a freshman. So you think about what those two guys have accomplished in the span of 10 years is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.